hormones in your body. And I just went through this crazy depression when I was diagnosed, and then I was put on meds for that, and I just wasn't doing well. Like, I fell out of my job at the time. I went on disability, and at the same time, I was gaining a lot of weight, like really fast, and it was a horrible time
And
for me.
the gain weight, was that based because of the condition?
The health condition, yes,
Okay.
it was making me, pretty big, and at the same time, my just my insecurities, my self worth was going down. My breakup was happening. My ex was cheating with like a best friend that was like way skinnier than me. So the gym was my outlet. Like I would go there and escape all realities. Like I would escape.
So you felt like breaking down your body in a sense.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. And then I also didn't want to. I wanted to lose weight, and I didn't want to gain any more. It was just a really bad time for me. So the gym honestly saved my life. It made me feel beautiful. It made me feel like my self worth was coming back. And
How long ago was this that you transitioned and you went through this
like
phase,
you
this
know,
storm, I would say?
exactly like 8 years ago.
Okay.
Mm.
I think I'm.
So
Yeah,
like
I
2012.
was 22. I don't know. I felt like it was 22 or 23. I don't lost count. I don't really want to say how old I am. You
No,
know
you
how
don't.
old I am.
Right,
Nah,
right.
that's okay.
But
Exactly.
live,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
They don't
don't.
even
yeah.
know.
We're
know.
live, by
We
the way,
know.
guys.
Yeah.
So
I'm like,
Sure.
Yeah, they don't
hello
even
to
know.
the current
It's
podcast
okay.
out there, guys.
but yes.
Thank you for joining us today, Jeanette.
8 years ago. So from 8 years ago to now, the transformation, it's
Mhm.
the glow up is real. Then you would say, right?
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
you say that, and then how are you doing with the condition? Is that something
Oh
that goes
yeah.
away, or is that for life
No,
once you have
it's
that?
for life. It
You
is.
just have to maintain.
You have to maintain a healthy diet. I'm very sensitive to stress, very sensitive to toxic energies. So I mean, in a way, it's kind of a good thing, I guess. I just can't really tolerate situations like I used to. Like I was in a toxic relationship for 8 years, and it lasted that long before, but like
So it
with
was eight
jobs.
years of relationship prior to the 8 years of this
Yeah,
transition
Mm.
from where
ex-
you're at now, present day.
exactly.
Whoa, that's 16 years altogether.
Yeah.
So you, no,
And
that's
just
My,
one
like,
question:
my son's
when
15.
you
right. Yeah.
when you went into the gym, like, did you have an idea of like, I want to, bodybuild, or like,
No.
did you have an idea of
I
what you
just
wanted to shape your body into?
it honestly it's I think it's for women in the beginning we just want to be skinny and that's it, and we want a booty and that's it. Like that was it in the beginning, and then once I got there, I'm always changing my physique. I
Mhm.
always change it. I don't know, I just do. Like sometimes I want to be more thin, like in the summer, but now I like muscle. Like I like
And then, so I have a question. It's kind
Mhm.
of personal, just because
Okay.
I have a wife that's coming off of 2 kids herself. So
Mhm.
it's like you being a mother of two.
Mhm.
Um, how difficult is that? When you have baby weight, and then you know what I'm saying. You trying to snap back to who your old form, and then
Mhm.
like you said, you were going through a transition. Like how hard is that, and to get yourself in the gym and just be like, all right, I'm gonna
It
stay
was very
consistent,
hard,
and
and
like
especially I'm sorry, I was looking for my water.
it's
This
done.
one?
There was a cold. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It was very hard because I didn't know anybody that was into fitness back then, but I just know that I wanted it so bad, and I just had to stop making excuses.
Mm.
So I
It was
went
like
in
self
there.
determination that you had. That I was like,
Yeah, I pushed myself. It was weird, like going to the women, especially women. I think in the beginning we feel awkward, we feel embarrassed, we feel ashamed, we feel a lot of different emotions, and
Like, people are judging you,
they don't
or
like to squat in front of men. Women put
mm,
sweaters on when they're
right, right.
squatting, that kind of thing. But I would just go when it was like empty. And I met a trainer in there that approached me, and he had like very affordable rates. So I said, you know what, I'm going to do it. I have the time, I'm on disability, and I'm going to do this for
This is
myself.
like a mirror for me. You know why? Because my wife just went on disability,
Oh,
and
really?
yeah, and like I had told her, like she's going through her own transition
Mm-hmm.
of like kids, and now she has to be wife, and now she quit her job and went on disability
Yeah,
because of the stress, and just it's a lot.
it
Now I
is.
see that she's a mom of two, and then she has to satisfy her husband and stuff, like, so it's like so much thing that she's dealing with
It's a
that
lot on the plate.
right,
Mm-hmm.
that I was like, you know what, just take some time off if you feel like you need to.
Yeah.
But it's funny that you say that, like, it's just like you had the time now, you were like So maybe like this episode that she's listening to another woman that went through what she's going through right now, and it could help her. You know what I mean? Because that's inspiring. No, real talk to see that like, and it gives me motivation that she could also accomplish whatever she wants to.
She can start, thinking about something else she wants. It's a good time to start planning what you want to do with your life. Like, you have to make changes and things like. It's a blessing in disguise.
Right,
honestly.
right.
And it's like the job that I fell out of as well. It was pretty crappy. Now that I look back, and I'm like, good thing I left from there. I wouldn't be where I am today. And that relationship that I left, like, good thing I left that toxic relationship. I would have never looked as good,
That's crazy.
or things like that. It's a whole life transformation, honestly, this fitness journey. It really is. And the thing is, like, we have to keep it exciting too, because it gets old. Doing the same routine and stuff, it gets old. So you always have to find, new gyms, new different hobbies, sports, things like that, to keep you motivated. There's a lot of people that fall off the wagon a lot, and I've always just been
easy,
like,
right, to just fall and get comfortable. And
I mean, you see it every year, right?
COVID, it happened to a lot. For me, that's when I started going extra hard, because I'm like, I got to keep my mind busy. I keep my mind and these hands busy. Like,
so you were working out at home, or?
No, I had a gym. There was a gym in Burbank, a private gym that was, staying open, and it
was trapping.
It was pricey membership, but I didn't care. It's like this
is health as well.
Was it Zoo Culture?
No, actually, I went there too.
I know that they stayed open through the whole pandemic.
No, it wasn't them. It was Enrich Fitness in Burbank, I believe was the name. Yeah, I was there, and then when my gym Crunch opened back up, then I went back there. And
were you there when they were outside?
Yes.
Man,
yeah,
those were crazy times.
Yeah. In the rain, working out in the rain, like what?
Nah, you know what's crazy? I started working out a few months ago, and then I fell off the wagon when I moved because Crunch is just so far.
Yeah.
But like, I still try to do it at home. But it's a trip how like, I used to have that thing how like you say that women have that, but men have that too. Where when you're insecure, you're in the gym and you're just like, you know what I'm saying? Because you see like, because I'm a small dude, so I used to go to the gym before just to play ball at LA Fitness.
Yeah.
And I used to see like dudes with muscle shirts and just rip. You know what I'm saying? And I just be like, I'm in a t-shirt, bro. Like, and then I see other people like around me too that weren't in the best shapes, probably skinny, but they were just scrawny, like not built. And I've seen these dudes in long sleeves, and I'm like, bro, like, I could only imagine what he thinks about himself. You know what I mean? So it's like hitting the gym and being in fitness, after you start progressing and you see the progress, it does help your confidence and everything. Because even me, I think I was doing it consistently with my brothers for a few weeks that I started feeling like, yo, it works, And then now, like, when I do it at home, my little push-ups, and I get on my little stationary bike, I still also feel like I did something and I was active, like even to the point where I was getting on my dad the other day. And I was like, yo, I need you to live another 30 years. I know you're 60 right now, but I need you to start looking at your health more importantly. And I need you to start, exercising so that so you can be at my kids' wedding, so you can see my kids graduate, because these are things that, now that I'm older, I'm thinking about that stuff, you know what I mean? And I'm trying to like really get on that habit of working out so that when I'm 60, I have the habit of it, and it's not a struggle like it is for some people I see that it's like, oh, I'm too old to work out now. And it's like, nah, bro, Instagram shows us that. You know what I mean? And it is, but that's crazy that so from this transition that you were going through, did it spark, what else did it spark besides the love for fitness? Did it spark an entrepreneurship in you? Or?
Yeah, I mean, basically after that, it's so funny because everything's gonna get fall into place now that we started with the whole fitness topic. First it was the thyroid disease, and then led to
fitness.
But your fitness opened doors for you. Like, what are those doors that it opened for you?
Well, back then Instagram was just starting up, and it was very, a little intimidating, but I would watch women every day on there, and I'm like, I want to be like that. I want my body like that, So I just kept working towards it, and then my platform kept growing, and I started getting a lot of followers, and then I loved it so much. I tried to be a trainer, and, you know, people are just inconsistent, or people would like fall off the wagon and slack
like
off.
trainer in the gym,
Yeah,
or
fitness
like
trainer.
Okay.
So I had my
So you weren't doing
clients-
like instructional videos. I know some people like doing
No.
that, where like they do
No, she was,
instructional
like,
videos.
I was an
TNG.
actual trainer.
trained.
I mean, I
Alright.
wasn't like, I didn't go to school for it or anything, but I told people like, look, this is me. This is how I look. Like, I know what to do and I know how to get here. And people were trusting that, but they were just very inconsistent. And once I seen like,
you were the
okay.
example. I got the results. Let me
Yeah,
put
here's
you
the
on.
before
Yeah.
and after.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And people would always ask me too, like, they would ask me, oh, you know, are you a trainer? I would love for you to train me. So I was getting a lot of people that would approach me about that. So I started helping a few females, but they would just always fall off that was frustrating to me.
Fall
like
off the wagon in the sense of like they
No
would stop
commitment.
working
not
out,
just
or
not dieting,
not dieting properly.
not dieting, not showing up to their appointments with me. And I just, you know, I gave up. I'm like, I'm going to keep this as my passion, and that's it. I obviously cannot rely on this as a source of income.
Right.
And then I just don't, I don't know, for me, it's hard to see that. Like, you know, we work so hard together, and I'm so proud of when they accomplish, and then they just like,
Is there
let go.
anyone that you could say like, oh, this person stayed on it?
no.
No.
Everybody
Ends up quitting.
Everybody
So
ended up quitting.
everything that happens in the 1st of January, is that what you're telling me? You know how the gym
Yeah,
gets
yeah,
packed,
yeah.
right? At the beginning of January, and then like a few weeks later, it dies down.
Exactly. It just after the holidays, people want to lose the fluff, and then they stay motivated for like 2 months. They get all this brand new clothes, and then they just give up. I don't know. They all say the same thing. Like, I just lost my motivation. I lost my motivation.
But I would have to say that it's also because people don't see results in the first week, in the first 2 weeks, and it's not, you're not gonna see results immediately, especially since like I think if you really want to see results, you have to also make sure your nutrition's on point, for example, and some people just do the gym part but aren't doing the nutrition.
But
Yeah.
that just
That's
comes
the
with
main
the whole
part.
commitment
Yeah.
aspect of it. When you're gonna be into fitness and you really take it serious,
But
I
you
think
gotta
you
build
have
the
to
habit.
do all of it
You
to
have to
really
build
see
the
the
habit,
results.
though.
Right.
Because
But that comes-
anything, so when I hear people saying I lost motivation, what that tells me is you didn't build a habit.
What does habit building come
Exactly.
from?
You know?
Habit build comes
But
from
you know what it
commitment.
also is
You gotta be
too?
commitment to these.
a lot of things
building
too.
it.
A lot of things too is like when people say they're gonna go to the gym, it's just I'm gonna go to the gym, but they don't set a goal as far as what the objective is to go to the gym. Like what are you trying to
Goals
accomplish?
are important. Yeah.
You know, I mean,
Mhm.
are you trying to lose weight? Is it trying to push more weight? Like for me, I go in there and I'm lifting weight.
Mhm.
So my whole goal, at least right now, is by end of the year I want to bench 45 plates. You know, so that's a goal I've set for myself. So every time I'm doing anything chest related, I'm going a little bit, pushing myself a little harder to get to that goal. But if you don't walk in there with any goals,
But I still
it's
give
gonna be
kudos-
easier
I
to-
still gotta give my kudos to the people that still show up and walk through the door.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
It's all
Because
about getting there.
I feel
Yeah.
like because
Mhm.
that's
Straight
what
up,
happened
too.
with me too. Like, because I fell off the wagon as far as going to the gym and being consistent with it. And my excuse is I moved away far. So now the will and the self determination to get up earlier, to get on time, to make it back to work on time. It's like it's taken a lot, and I haven't done it because I really feel like, all right, I do it at home, but I haven't taken a step to actually go to the gym with my guys right here. You know, like they do. So. But I have to do it too, because it's like, it's important. And like I feel like if I was on my dad's ass the other day about it, I really gotta show him too that, all right, I'm in the gym.
Yeah.
I'm probably like, one of these days I'm gonna surprise him. I'm gonna be pulling up right as he's leaving for work. Like, look, what are you doing here? I'm going to the gym. Or you should be going, like, you know, because it's
Yeah.
like, I feel like I've been in that thing where I'm trying to hold everybody accountable,
Yeah.
you know, and I'm trying to be held accountable. So it's like, we made a commitment in here to like hit the gym and be more, put more importance on our health, because, you know, COVID just really spun the world around and
It
everything,
did.
you know, so
It really did.
like I rather, you know, health is wealth at the end of the day. So,
It
you know, I
is.
got to give everybody that's in the gym, like you guys three, you know, that are consistently showing up and showing everybody else that, you know, where there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what I always tell people, like, don't wait for somebody to take you. Don't wait for a partner, because people are flaky. You got to
Right.
get up and do it on your own for yourself.
Facts.
that's why Byron went without me today.
Damn, Byron.
Yeah.
You know, I pushed.
But you've had like a lot of gym buddies then, right? Then you've experienced.
No, actually I
you've always
haven't.
then by yourself?
I mean, I had a trainer, and I never really had a gym buddy.
I always felt like that helped me as far as like staying consistent. Back in the day when I was always working out and like not like I was big or anything, but like at least going to play basketball and then going to lift a little bit of weights. But we were doing it consistently when I had my boy. That he's sitting down for a little bit right now, but once he gets out, I know it's gonna get right back to it because that's all he's doing in there, working out. So it's a trip how like I feel like sometimes having that person there motivating you, like it's like, you know, when you fall down, somebody picks you up.
Yeah.
Like I like that aspect of it, but it is another level of it when you can kick yourself in the ass and be like, go to the gym. You need to do this, you know? So I still give mad props to everybody like that. So back to that question. What else sparked out of that?
Yeah, what other
storm?
doors
like,
did it open?
We got sidetracked real quick.
Yeah,
so like what came out of the storm and after you got fitness?
So we already talked about that you know, the door opened of you being a trainer. What other doors did fitness open for you?
I gave that up, and then I went back into my field,
which is what?
Which is I work in orthodontics. It's a specialty in dentistry of straightening teeth, you know.
So braces.
Cosmetic aesthetics. Yeah.
Enzo went through braces, so he knows what's up.
I had braces. I had my 4 canines taken out.
Oh.
Yeah, I used to have bad teeth.
Your
like,
bicuspids, you mean?
I don't know what they are. He said they were the canine teeth.
I've never heard that before.
I know,
bicuspids.
right?
What?
It was crazy because you know how
She
they
gave
do
you
the
the
before and
medical
after.
terminology.
For real. you know the before and after they do when they put that plastic thing and everything.
Uh-huh.
I remember the doctor saying a little joke. I'm never gonna forget this because he said your mouth looks like the predator mouth. Like,
bruh,
That's sad.
And you know what's crazy
That's
is
not
that
very professional,
right?
or
But
appropriate.
but I giggled it off. But it was funny because he said something that like when they took the picture and they showed it to me, I thought about that.
Yeah.
So the fact that he said what I thought was like, and then I was kind of like taking on the chin because your mom's been telling you to fix your teeth and you were lagging it, and I did it till like 11th grade, I think. So it was like at the end of high school, and you know, so
yeah,
it sucks. Braces suck, but I need to get Invisalign now because I just didn't keep up with my retainer. So you did that field for how long?
Yeah. I mean, well, I'm still technically a little bit in there still. So I was doing that, and I'll make a long story short, and I've been doing that for about, I want to say 15 years, as long as my youngest son. 15 years. That's how I keep track of how long I've been in the field. And you know what? I honestly, I started to get really sick and tired of just, you know, not getting treated right at work. Checks are just being pinched left and right. It's like I'm working so hard and it's like the check's really not showing for it. And I just remember this last year, it was like I was really scared of going poor and broke and losing my house and things like that during COVID. And I just thought to myself, like, you know, I'm tired of this. Like, this is a big, huge crisis wake-up call. Like, I need to do something else other than my field because, like, you know, we got pulled out of work for 2 months, mandatory because of COVID. And, you know, I thought and then, like, you know, unemployment, none of that was, like, safe or secure.
You were just kind of overworking for somebody. Is that what I'm that's what I'm kind of getting at. That
and only one income in, so she's trying to get multiple incomes now.
And then the last straw was, it was my oldest son's birthday. He had just turned 18, and my boss would always forget to pay me. He would forget to pay me, and I was crying and my like tears coming down my eyes, and I said, "Can you freaking pay me? It's my son's birthday.
It's
like,
Friday, payday.
Yeah,
Friday?
exactly.
Wow.
And I'm like, the check hasn't
What?
came in, and he wouldn't respond to my text, and then I start calling, and then finally he's like, okay, wait. And I just got tired of that. I said, I can't believe that I can't even rely on my job or my boss to pay me on time to take care of my family. It's like we're not even getting like looked at like we're humans that have families that we need to care for.
That's
you know,
crazy.
they look at it like it's a privilege that you work for them and you should just be happy you have a job and that's it. And I got sick of it. I said, you know what? I went to an entrepreneurship class. It was like a small class, a spiritual class, and the guy just started to, you know, give us teachings there about what we need to do, how we need to find our passions, and just basically we can't really rely on society anymore or corporate because I mean look what's happening.
Class was this?
It was a spiritual mentor. No, it's just in the spiritual community.
Like a motivational.
Do you remember the name?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I should get,
Nah,
I guess, you know what, I'm just.
Is it altar call?
No,
Okay.
his name is Stay Risen.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm going to go ahead and just say it because I've thanked him so much, you know, for.
You got to give props to the people that.
Yeah,
you know,
and he's Latino and, you know, he's amazing. So we did a small little class with him and it was like a spiritual kind of, yeah, he's like a motivational speaker kind of. And so ever since then, you know, he just opened something in my head like, yeah, you know what,
That's
I
so
need to
dope,
do
'cause
something with myself.
I feel like my mentor is in the same type of realm of like he blends spirituality and business together.
Yes.
And like
that's
it's
him too.
It's a crazy mix how like they can spark something out of you, because when I met this guy, I was on pills. I was taking Percocets and Vicodins for 7 years, and I don't know where I crossed paths with him, and he was on that tip where he's like, man, I made 800 million in my career, like I'm almost to $1 billion, and I'm like, and I was there, I had all the money, all the girls, everything, and I wasn't satisfied. I was doing drugs, I was doing everything that you can name, and then he's like, I just got tired of like doing this and it wasn't satisfying me anymore.
Yeah.
And I was like, how, bro? You had everything. He's like, it just wasn't enough. And then he said that his secret was finding God, getting closer to God, and then everything else started falling into place. And now he pushes that, like that mentor program where it's like he shows people how to get their business right, but he does it from an aspect of like getting your trauma out first, like everything that you're dealing with internally,
heal first
so that then once you heal, your business will start producing more. And to be honest, once I started messing with this dude and cutting his hair and he was a client, I seen the growth in me just because he held me accountable, and he also kind of like he sparked something in me that one of the things I'd actually seen him yesterday. I told him how we had a conversation and he asked me, you need to ask yourself why. Why do you do what you do? What has led you to where you're at? And like, it's just what that one why question will lead you to other whys and hows and what's, and then like once you start figuring out why you do what you do, like you're gonna even figure out why this trauma happened, or you know what I'm saying? You're gonna have closure in a sense. And
it's some deep digging.
It is. And to be honest, it's crazy that you say that happened to you, and because I went through the same thing recently.
It's almost recently too. This was last year. I felt like I met him in the right timing of my life. I was going through this crisis, and so I started to meditate, because I meditate a lot, and then I finally thought in meditation one day, well, I love candles. Why don't I start learning how to make candles?
Sick.
And then it was like a huge light bulb.
Just lit up.
Yeah, and I spent so much money on candles before, and it's like, it gets really expensive, you know?
Really? I didn't know that.
Because you go through one candle every 24 hours, maybe, you know what I mean?
Oh,
so
snap.
you almost
so
like...
you have candles all over your house then?
Yeah. I mean, it was like all those little church candles, but it just struck me, you know, after the class, and then I finally thought, like, I have a big platform on social media, so I need to do something, and it started off as a project for me. So I on my lunch hour, I was working, I was watching YouTube videos how to make candles.
Are we creeping into Sweet Surrenders already?
Yep. Sounds like it.
I think so. Should we wait?
No, keep going. I was just
Are you sure?
Go for it. Keep going. I just want to make sure.
Is that what?
Yeah, that's how it started, though. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm seeing how it's connecting. So I just want to make sure we're on that path.
My guy.
It's all connected.
I know.
Always.
So I started to make candles, and it just started off as a project, an experiment, and I started to post it on my stories. And like I would always get like, I don't know,
friends asking
maybe
you,
not
can you
that
make
many,
me
like
candle?
200, 300, 400 people viewers on my story.
Dope.
And I started getting a lot of people approaching me like, hey, I want candles. I want candles. I want candles. So I was like, oh my God, I'm so happy. Like I'm doing so well. And I did. I mean, I don't know. I probably made like,
did you name
over 400 candles last year during November and December, and I didn't name anything yet at this time.
It was just like, I'm doing this as a passion. I like doing this.
Yeah. And
is there certain smells that like you were more attracted to?
Smells? Fragrance?
Yeah, fragrance.
Not really. There was so many. I mean, to be honest with you,
or is there a specific one that like that's the one that sells the most, or that you were into doing the most?
I don't remember. I remember I made like a few pumpkin spice ones, but those didn't really sell that much.
Ew.
I've noticed a lot of Hispanics don't like pumpkin spice.
Nah, I don't like
I
pumpkin.
know. I would. It was
That's-
more
I hate
like.
to say it.
Only at Starbucks.
I hate to
White
break it to you, that's a white person thing.
I know.
Not to you, but to our audience. You know, people.
It's true. And it
are
would just.
you white? What are you?
No, I'm Mexican.
Come
Like
on,
full
bro.
Mexican?
Oh, I was born here. My mom's from Guadalajara.
Got you.
Yeah.
Chivas,
so-
what did you?
Sick. You got any cartel ties? I'm just kidding.
No, absolutely not.
I'm just saying because of the
Sick.
narcos. I was about to say like, you know how Guadalajara is. That's where what's his name was.
He's
from?
our conspiracy theorist.
I
Don't
love
mind him,
him,
please.
yeah. I'm sorry, Illuminati.
Forget what he
It's
just
all
said.
connected.
That's funny.
Nah. I was. You're over here like this motherfucker really said.
No, it's okay. I like it. It's fine. Like I'm totally
Nah, it was-
open-minded
it was a
and
joke.
yeah. So
Yeah,
yeah, so yeah, basically I learned how to make candles and then I started selling them everywhere, left and right. And then I remember I've always been a Crunch member.
Shout out to Crunch.
And I went into Crunch Northridge, and one of my I remember trying to sell some of the candles to one of the employees there, and he was telling me, "Why don't you come to our closeout to sell your candles?" And I thought, really? You guys do that? Like, oh my God, this is such a dream come true. And at first I thought he was mean. I'm not going to say his name, but I thought he was kind of mean looking. And I tried to sell candles to him. He's like, no, thank you. He's like, here, do you have a business card? I'll just take your card. I gave him my business card. The next day, he went onto my Instagram and he's like, hey, I'll take 2 of these. And I was like so shocked. I was shocked. Like,
You're like in person. You didn't want to do
Yes.
any business, but through DMs, I'll take 2.
yes, exactly. Exactly. And then so the next day, I took them to him. And that's when he told me, he's like, hey, he's like, do you want to come to our closeout to sell your candles? I remember I got all dressed up like if it was a freaking job or model interview, and I had all
Dressed to
my candles.
impress.
And I had a table full of candles. I'll never forget that day. Everybody wiped out my candles, and everybody was like, "Wow, these are so beautiful!" Da, da, da. And it was during the holidays, so I had a lot of holiday candles. And ever
Damn.
since
That's
then,
dope.
but before that,
That's
I
in a
was
year
literally selling them out of my trunk. Like
Oh, you was trapping.
I was, yeah, I was like hustling.
We say that nowadays instead of hustling, it's called trap.
Trapping? Yeah, I was definitely trapping. I had them in my trunk, and I had a goal. I'm like, I gotta make at least $50 a day of selling these.
Oh, let's
Definitely.
go.
That
Setting
was
the
my
goal.
goal.
Yo.
Key.
Let's
Yes.
go, yes.
Yes.
Consistency.
I have a question for you, Janet.
She was building the habit.
See, guys.
Yeah.
Wait.
guys.
Byron wants to speak.
No, hold
Yeah,
on.
what's this?
Okay, yeah, let him. You have the floor, my guy. You have the floor.
Was this before your entrepreneurship class or after?
No, this was after.
After, right.
Yeah, this
Okay,
was
can
right
I
after.
say something
Uh-huh.
though? I remember we had a guest one time that was like, "Oh, it's dumb to write things down and have ideas, and nothing's gonna pop."
Oh my.
There's an
Lord.
idea that's a candle idea that popped for
Right.
somebody. A candle idea, my guy. And she set a goal to sell $50 worth of candles, and you're making it right.
Well, I mean, now it's more, but
You
I'm
feel-
The goal
not.
has risen.
That's
I'm
no,
not selling them out of my trunk anymore.
No, but
that's
what
the
I'm-
whole thing.
That's my
Definitely,
point.
right?
That's
I have
my
a
point.
website now.
That's my
and-
fucking
shit.
point. That
Shout
like,
out the what's the website
like
name?
you know what I mean. You don't have to. That's the American dream, right? Like where you can start your own business and just
Yeah.
like out of a transition, out of a storm.
Right.
I gotta give you your
Thank
flowers right now. You know what I mean?
you.
Because that's
Thank
dope.
you.
Like that.
I
You took
know.
that jump, that leap of faith for yourself.
Exactly.
and,
That's
you know,
exactly what it was.
The first like sale you said you wiped it out. That's
I
sick.
did.
That's
It
like
was-
I mean when I
but
first
it
started
was
cutting hair,
like
it didn't work out like that.
Before that, I was like, I was heartbroken. If somebody didn't want to buy my candle, like,
hurts, right?
I would feel like shit.
Rejection.
right.
But I honestly, I saw my mom sell stuff when I was little. She would sell clothes out of her van. And I just watched my parents, especially my mom, like she was just hustling, selling Mary Kay, selling clothes out of her van when we were
It
little.
was
Like
ingrained in you.
everything, and she, scraping money to make sure that I have my dolls or
Right.
the cereal that I
The
want.
shoes you wanted in high school and stuff.
So that kind of stuck on me. It stuck on me, and then so I was like, "That's why I'm not gonna have shame because this is my dream.
That's
Like,
dope.
and I'm gonna keep pushing it till I make something out of it."
That's dope.
And that's just the mentality I had. And I mean, I thank Crunch Fitness all the time. Like,
After
I
that
always
initial,
thank them.
what was it called? The end of day sale, or what was it called that they had at Crunch?
Closure.
The closeout.
Oh, so after that closeout, is that when the name came about? And
No,
you
I had my
actually
name
did it?
already.
So what did you name this product or this line of brand or this brand that you have? What would you call it? Is it a product? Is it a service? Or what do you...
Product line. Yeah. So I knew that I was going to start a product line. I just didn't. And I knew I wanted to expand it. So I couldn't just be like, okay, it's going to be called this candles. No, I knew eventually I was going to
branch off and do other stuff.
Yeah.
With it.
So I'm like, I have to make it kind of a universal, but I want to make it stick to why spiritually I was influenced.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I love the name Surrender. I'm big on reading Eckhart Tolle books. I don't know if you guys are into like spiritual elevating self-transformation books. So that book for me, like just the fact that he would always talk about surrendering to situations, and that's I surrendered to COVID, to what was happening. And then I brought out my talents as well. I discovered my talents in meditation. And, I brought out these beautiful candles. And that's why I'm like, okay, I like the word sweet surrender. So I'll make it plural at the end. So I could keep expanding my line. I had a lot of different ideas, but I needed to make sure that I was going to be good at them. Like my first candle.
You wanted to execute, right.
Exactly. Like the first candle, I mean, it was, it was okay. I did the best I could, but it's kind of cute. Now it looks like a little girl's candle. If I look back at it, I'm like, oh, this is kind of cute. But the whole...
Do you have it encased or something?
No, I sold them. My friends were the first ones that bought my candles. And I mean, I think they just did it out of their heart mostly, but they...
That's dope.
Now that I look back, I'm like,
that believed in you, right?
Right.
Yeah, it's like, look at those freaking candles. But the reason why I was pushed to it, because I'm like, I have a platform on most of my platform is on fitness, but it's kind of weird how it worked out, because like I'm fit, I'm always at the gym, and I do my pop-ups, and people are drawn to me because I'm fit and because of my energy. And then it's like I'm also bringing out like this holistic wellness brand.
Right.
So it's weird how it all kind of like pieced in
place,
and matched together. And now it's like I do pop-ups everywhere, community pop-ups.
What other products have you branched off to do with Sweet Surrender?
Yeah. So the candles was first. And then after that, I think I started making soap.
Oh, dope.
Yeah.
Like natural.
So cosmetics?
Natural soaps, handmade. My first few soaps were kind of cute, whatever, but I saw how good I started selling soap. Like it was just an experiment. I didn't think people were going to care about soap more than candles.
That's crazy.
But I developed like this really big soap fanatic crowd off my soaps.
Wow. Soap.
Yes.
Who would have
Luxury handmade soap.
Pounded. Thank you.
Thank you.
Man, you're just proving me right for all these like guys that are naysayers that don't believe that you can just have an idea and execute the idea.
Exactly.
And then you can, live the American dream, but I'm just crazy Enzo, I don't know.
It all started with a thought, and that thought manifested into this big, huge entrepreneurship.
It manifests it, right? And
yes.
then but before the manifestation, you put the work in for it to manifest it, right?
Exactly. That's what I tell people all the time at my
pop-ups.
pop-ups.
People think it's going to just come from the sky. Like these candles came from the sky. These soaps came from the sky.
No,
like, nah, you had to.
Definitely a little bit of law of attraction and law of action. Like you have to take some kind of action and then see what it reciprocates. Everything's trial and error. I always tell people, you got to try shit out.
You got to take a risk.
You got to take risks. Exactly.
Well,
you got to get out of your comfort zone.
That's why. A lot of people are scared to fail, and they don't want to take the leap because they're like, what if I fail?
Fear.
Yeah, and it's that fear that
keeps
them imprisoned from actually taking that action.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the thing with like what you're saying, right? You took a risk in several ideas, not only one, right? So it's like you're talking about how like your first journey was being a trainer. That was a risk. A lot of people, might not want to even do that. Like they might work out, but they're like, I don't know if I'm ready to be a trainer. But you took a risk in that. You saw that wasn't for you. And then you decided to take a risk and let me take a class. So let me learn how to do something. That's also a risk. I'm sure you probably took other classes maybe before doing that candle class. You didn't know if that was the thing that was going to make you, into the business that you have now. But it's like all those things, from what I'm hearing, right? Those are things that you learned from your mother, where your mother wasn't afraid to take risk and sell things and, be able to scratch money from anything. And that's that example is what helps you to be like, nah, I can't be ruled by fear.
Yeah.
I got to take the leaps and go one after another and see what works out.
Exactly. That's exactly the way it was. And yeah, it was honestly, it was a big, huge blessing, COVID. Like, I just discovered so much about myself. You know, I really went into my inner self, my spirit. Like, and I never knew, I knew I was good at my hands, right? Because I've been working in dentistry and orthodontics for 15 years. And I knew I like working with my hands. And I know, and it's funny because I feel like I bridged second grade until now that I'm an adult woman. In second grade, I loved art so much. And I always had a fascination for soap, but I just thought it was like so complicated. And, you know, we shop at Target and Walmart, and it's like just white
Buy
soap.
generic soap.
And when I came into this industry of soap making, it's like, so it's an art. It really is an art. It's an artistry.
That's so
and
fucking
trying to
sick,
get your
yo.
scent, trying to
the
see.
community
yeah.
is so big, so welcoming, so loving, and I love it so much because like all the soap makers are very just, you know, they're very helpful, very motivational. You know, they won't put your work down. Like at some point I want to get to the level of like these women that are like, wow, you know, like they know how to do some Picasso art on these soaps.
What?
I feel like I'm still kind of working up towards that way.
So now you have me intrigued. Like, what do you mean as far as like, because
Oh, she does designs.
I
with
know,
Yeah.
you're right. I know soap, a bar of soap is a bar. That's what I know as far as
You know, a
soap.
basic bar of soap.
Right. So what is Sweet Surrender doing, or what are they innovating as far as soap? Like, because that sounds interesting. That
Yeah.
how do you make it art, or what is something?
Well,
that,
I mean, some of my soaps, I'll put herbs, and then you know, I studied a lot about herbs, and also I learned about herbs because of my mom, you know, because she's from the rancho, so I know a lot about herbs since I was little. Like herbs heal us. She's healed me with like chamomile, moringa, you know,
Rosemary.
romero, se
Yeah.
dice en español, you know.
Yep.
So all those, I took all those ideas, and then you know, of course, I'm always learning about different herbs, and I put them in my soaps. Or turmeric. One of my top seller soaps is the turmeric soap, and women swear like it's helped with like
do
aging,
you
with
use sea moss in your
blemishes.
soaps?
Huh?
Do you use sea moss in any?
I haven't been able to find like wholesale sea moss to be, but it's on my project
Just
list.
because I know you say holistic, so I'm like,
Yeah.
that's part of holistic. You know,
Yeah, no, I
wondering if you use that.
I haven't found wholesale prices yet but that's on my. I have a lot of different projects that I want to work on,
That's dope.
but I haven't got to yet because I'm keeping my top seller soaps on top. But yeah, so long story
You
short,
figured out what's working for you, so you're like, I'm gonna keep pumping out what's working for me, and then I have a list of a plethora of things that I have, you know, ideas that you're gonna execute. I'm sure you will execute
Yeah,
phenomenally. That's
thank
great to hear,
you.
man. That's motivating too, cause a lot of, and then you're a woman, like women. That's not an excuse now. Like women are doing great things, having soaps, having candles, like that. And then you saying there's other women doing this too, like.
yeah,
it's
it's
very-
a big, huge like Instagram. I found a lot of different people, and
Who would have thought though? Like I never would have thought like soap.
right?
And then you're getting people that are like supporting it and like consistent.
Yes,
That's dope.
people, yeah, they love it. I mean, I think more Caucasian people is the crowd that
you,
I
you
mostly.
already see your demographic. Then you know who you're.
Especially older people. I feel like the thing is with youngsters, it's like they haven't had anything happen to them
So they don't care.
health wise,
Right.
so they don't care. They're gonna still use
They're,
dial.
They're what is it? They're indestructible. They think that nothing's gonna happen to them.
it's not only that.
Yeah,
I mean,
bro.
it's,
I'm young and I still think that sometimes. Like I'll
but
still.
it's also you haven't learned
It's
about skincare. A lot of people don't learn about skincare until they start aging.
Until and then
But that's
no,
what
the
I'm
thing
saying.
is,
It all comes with you not caring. You're careless. You're young. You think your skin's gonna stay wrinkle free forever, bro. Like that's just what it is. Not until you get older you start being like,
I wouldn't mind the wrinkles.
I
bro.
think and then I had a man that had like rosacea. He had really bad psoriasis and rosacea, and it really heals my heart to see
helping
how
somebody.
it's healing, because I learned how to make my own body butter too. That's my main top seller. Other than my soaps, right now it's the body butter because it's very healing. All
Do
the
you have
ingredients.
anything for acne?
I do.
Really?
I have
What
a
about
soap
acne
and
scars and stuff like that? Because
Yeah.
I got acne scars that I've been like, dude, I want to get rid of my scars.
I
and
do.
never
Actually,
can.
my body butter helps scars and stretch
Really?
marks. Yeah, and psoriasis and eczema and rosacea
That's dope.
and yeah, like all these different skin disorders. So you know, it
I'm a barber,
honestly.
so I'm gonna have to push some of those stuff for products on my shop. Real talk.
Thank
Like
you.
a little crossing.
I have a lot of men's soaps too. Men are my number one customers. I gotta always keep them happy. They're the ones that buy the soaps the most.
Dope.
I need some soap for sure.
Yeah, I bought you guys some soaps. Where are they?
Wow.
Over there,
Where's the little
right
bag?
there.
Okay.
It's funny because I be seeing all these commercials on IG. I know not just
Right.
IG,
The,
but
yeah.
YouTube,
The ads
to
and
stop
stuff.
using these generic soaps
Oh,
that are bad for you.
yeah.
and all
Yeah,
this
they have
stuff.
so many chemicals.
You know what?
These
I
are,
just-
these are vegan soaps that I brought you guys.
Do you make deodorant also?
Can you
Not
explain
yet.
that real quick? Vegan soap. How is it possible to have vegan soap? Just explain.
It's
'cause
no
I'm-
animal.
It has no
products?
milk. Exactly.
no
no
animal
animal
products.
products.
Anything that
Sure.
says
It's-
vegan, it's like they wouldn't put any animal product or any type of animal anything involved
Yeah.
in it, right?
Yeah, so
When they
it's
say vegan, yeah.
Okay.
yeah. They have 3 different fragrances. So I made these for Pride Month. Okay.
sick.
They have 3 different fragrances. It's
I pride
blueberry.
I came out as a lesbian a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Facts.
So they have blueberry, cherry, and watermelon. So I brought you guys
we gotta
these.
put it in the bio.
I forgot.
The lesbian.
Now
Like
you know
Drake?
it's funny that you
Because
yeah.
of Drake.
I'm
Yeah,
a
exactly.
lesbian
That's
too.
what he's saying.
No, it's funny that because I kind of went away from using Dove as my deodorant,
Uh-huh.
and then I found something at Target. I forgot the name of
Native.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go. See, that's
Mhm.
crazy. You know. So are they holistic or whatever? Because I just
No,
I-
it still has chemicals because
does
it has.
it? All right, so help me out because I thought that was a good one that I picked because I was like, it's $12 though. I'm like, God dang. This is
It's
$12
mostly
deodorant.
baking soda, but it has like
know
a
it doesn't
chemical in
last
it
long.
to keep it long shelf life at Target.
Oh, okay, so
Like
that's what I
organic
don't want.
products don't last that long.
So okay, so if we're talking holistic,
On the
and
shelf.
we're saying
Mhm.
all that stuff, right? So if you were, let's say, you were to make a deodorant,
Mhm.
does that mean that you have to surrender to the fact that you might be a little musty, or that's your natural
yeah,
smell?
actually, yeah, they're not. That's the thing, and that's why.
and in the Western society, we're put some cologne on, or put deodorant. We're not taught that. That's why we smell other cultures and be like, whoa,
Yeah.
this guy. You know what I'm saying? Because
I
now that I've started using Native, I know my deodorant doesn't last as long as like the other ones.
You have to
used
reapply it.
Right.
Mhm.
So I have 2, one at the shop and one with me because I
Good.
noticed that. So then I'm like, because my thing is I'm lining you up and then
Yeah.
You can smell it. Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? So I'm like,
That happens. I mean, us too.
and
like
I'm a
in-
sweaty guy. I'm always sweating for some reason. Like I get that from my dad. That it's just like, so I'm waiting for that deodorant when you come out. With
Yeah.
it. That would be dope.
I'm actually gonna work on it. I know. I already checked it out, the ingredients and stuff to put it in. But no, anything at Target is not all natural because I mean it has chemicals to keep the shelf life
Yeah.
longer,
So
pretty much.
What's a good like
Or a decent generic brand.
generic?
You know, it's hard to
Sweet
say.
surrender, bro.
That's what I'm waiting for. But she says she don't have it, so I'm like,
Yeah.
I've actually already looked into making it. Trust
no.
me.
But I'm gonna
it's-
I'm gonna use these soaps
Trust
because
me, like we're trying.
I'm gonna get there
I use
eventually.
Dove right now for some reason.
For people listening, this is a sneak peek. We had this guest recently, and his wife, she's a what you like to call a self-made millionaire entrepreneur off of her products for hair.
Mm-hmm.
Her name is the product line is Miss Jenny's. Miss Jenny's.
Miss
right?
Jesse's.
Miss Jessie's. My
Mhm.
Yeah,
bad.
she's at
Yeah.
Target too.
So
right?
yeah, so she's got to the point where she's online, Amazon, Target, Walmart, and she
Her
talks
story's
about
similar too.
How she started off,
With her
not-
sister.
with her sister.
She was a single mom. They were about to lose their house, and she just started getting into hair products. And that's
wow.
from there. She just took it. Now her products are all over Walmart, Target, all that.
That's nice.
She's
I
the
know.
owner.
I'm hoping to get into like Trader Joe's,
Definitely.
Sprouts, those kind of stores. But right now, I'm still working on a lot of like my labels, with the ingredients. It's all very time consuming and it's really expensive. It's
Do you
not
have
the
a team around you? Would you say?
No,
Self-made.
I'm doing all this by myself.
Man.
Have you ever
Yeah.
thought about like, let's say if somebody came at you with the opportunity, like an angel investor, would you take that type of opportunity, or do you want to still be independent? Where
I think I want to stay independent, honestly. I
You're not
don't
gonna
know. I
sell
remember seeing that McDonald's movie, The Founder, and I don't want to get screwed
I like
over.
that. I like that.
Really?
Nah,
I
you.
don't. I think I'm gonna teach my niece. I already talked to my niece. She's a little bit young right now. She's a teenager, but she likes making soap, and I told her like I want her to take over the business when I'm gone, and she's helped me making soap before.
Oh, so you have someone helping you out. Though.
No, I don't.
No, I mean as far as your niece, she's someone that has
she's
interest
willing
in
to take over the business.
Just gotta keep on.
I'm
like,
still kind of working towards my goals, and I'm honestly I'm getting up there pretty quickly, more quickly than I thought.
That's great.
So it's really working out.
See
Like
what happens
everything's
when you
working.
take a risk, y'all. See?
Hey man.
Yeah.
For a podcast.
Yep.
But I have boys, and the boys don't like making soap.
Oh,
they
man.
don't. They don't like.
They
none
don't
of that
see the
stuff.
vision yet.
Yeah.
Then they're gonna be like, "Mom, what? You got a Bentley?" I'm just
Exactly.
kidding.
Exactly. But that's how that started. So it started with the candle. It all started with a dream and a candle, and now it's like all skincare
That's
and
sick.
soaps and.
But you still
And,
make candles or
um,
no more candles?
Yeah, no, I'm actually the candles are selling a lot right now. Like it's funny because it goes into like phases.
It's a new wave right now. I've noticed that it's like a lot of like even barbershops have been selling man candles where like men have
Oh,
been
nice.
yeah
You know,
like,
a lot of men have been buying more. I'm so proud of them. I tell them all. And crystals. I sell crystals too.
but it's because we're like I feel like since you say you like astrology, right?
Yeah.
Since we've entered the age of Aquarius, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like it's said that men are gonna become more in tune with their feminine side.
Yeah.
And more, you know what I'm saying?
I
That's
love
what I
that.
think is happening. You know what I mean? Like
I love
that's why we
that.
have guys like Drake out here that can speak to a woman from a man's perspective,
Mm-hmm.
and some men that are from the old dogma, I would say, still think that it's like, oh, you're soft, bro. But it's like, nah, bro. Just a lot of us are becoming in tune with our feminine
Comfortable. And
side. and
what
you
it
know
is
I'm saying? Like,
confidence.
yeah.
You're confident
In
with
your own skin
with
and your-
yourself
who
and
you
what
are.
what your likings are. Then I mean, you're not gonna care what other people think.
Right.
And there's still like I feel like there's a few more Hispanic men are starting to be more open, and I'm happy for that because it's like a lot of us came from machista
Yeah.
parents.
Well,
and
that's
stuff.
that's the definition.
And Middle Eastern
Yeah.
too.
Right.
Hispanic and Middle Eastern, but I feel like now the Hispanic men are evolving more. And some men are still not like, oh, I'm not gonna buy fruit soap. You have men cologne soap? Yes, I do actually.
Oh,
I have everything, but sometimes, that's what I always tell them. If you want to buy fruit soap, buy it. Who cares? It's not a cologne of fruit. It's a soap,
Right.
so you can enjoy and feel good.
Who's in the shower with you, bro? It's just you and yourself and the song you're playing.
I think it's attractive when a guy smells, a little bit sweet, or
Right,
if
like
he
it's-
likes things that he's comfortable.
a lot of
liking.
guys.
She just sold
do
those
it for the
soaps.
homies.
Yeah.
Stop doing it for the homies, man. Do it for the ladies.
I'll take 5, please.
Yeah,
Yes.
she was like, I like a guy who smells. They're like, I'm ordering more.
Yeah.
She's like,
Actually, most of them tell me you pick them. I'll buy them. You pick them for me. And so I'm like, okay, that's nice. I'm gonna give you all the top sellers, and I'm gonna give you a couple of my my name brand soaps. I have a few name brand soaps for people that care about
what do you mean?
like
Define
like
which-
John Pierre.
So you add the
Dolce &
cologne.
Gabbana.
You add the cologne smell to the actual.
No,
soap?
it's an essential oil. It's not the. I don't use chemicals or colognes
Oh, so
or
you just
perfumes.
make it smell like similar to it.
Exactly, but it smells even better on soap because it's not as like strong.
And is
You
that gonna
have-
stay
smells
on you?
soft. It's a soft smell.
Did you,
Yeah.
did you bring anything to sell out the trunk today?
No.
Oh, what?
No
Sleeping.
more. No more.
Sleeping. Give me my
No.
pound back. I'm just kidding. No.
No. Yeah. I can't believe I did that.
Just
That's
to
so
redirect
crazy.
them to the site.
Oh. I'll follow you on Instagram.
Come to the
Shocker.
next pop up. Oh, what?
Right.
When
yeah.
is the next pop up?
I think LA Fitness. It's gonna be at Sepulveda LA Fitness the end of this month.
Cool.
Yeah. It's a big, huge crowd right there. It's crazy. It's a little overwhelming, but in a good way, right? But yeah, no. That's why I always try to keep I have try to keep everybody happy. The soap freaks, the candle freaks, the body, but like even some men like my body butters, and I think that's really attractive. Like,
what are
wow,
body
you care.
butters?
It's like lotion,
Oh, okay.
but like I was saying, I add a lot of different healing properties in it, and people.
Put
CBD?
eucalyptus in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I make some with CBD.
Cool.
Most of the ones that I sell at my pop-ups are just the ones without CBD, because it's like if people don't want to pay for the CBD, I'm not gonna put it in
Hey,
there.
you'll be surprised though. There's a market for that, especially at the gyms. People will.
No,
pay for
yeah, there is, and that's only special orders. Like I won't just have a
So
a batch
do you
sitting
make,
there.
Do you make like custom orders?
I do, and I sell wholesale to whoever needs it. You know, it's more work, but I do. I'm open to whatever the customer wants. I make CBD soap. My CBD soap's another top seller. I make it with full spectrum CBD, 3,300 milligrams, and I sell those a lot at gyms because people have sore bodies,
Yeah.
right?
So the
Um,
soap you what that
Yeah.
works?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna definitely.
Yeah, come on, bro.
So-
Like,
Yeah.
that's a pretty self-explanatory.
Nah,
right?
just, I'm a barber, so I'm always on my feet. So
I
yeah,
know.
but
And it's
definitely.
just so nice to hear people like, it's really helping me. Or you feel like you can see their confidence and they're just like, their bodies look so much nicer. Like, you know, the flawless, radiant skin. It's like a new person. It's a new,
Definitely.
every time I see that, it's just like, wow, I'm doing something good,
You're
you know?
impacting.
Yeah, and it makes me feel so good, honestly. Like, wow, I'm just so proud of myself and, you know, my purpose and my mission and like, look how far I've come. Like, I'm really enlightening people.
Question, Janet, where do you
Mhm.
see your company in 5 years?
I don't
Where
really
is Sweet
talk to-
Surrender gonna be in 5
I don't
years?
really like to talk about like the plans that I have.
No,
Yeah.
not the plans. Where do you see yourself? Like, where's the how? What heights? Like, if you, like, just like how you said, in a year span, all this has happened. 5 year spans. What do you? It's not that I want to know your plan. I want to
okay.
just see like the vision. Where do you think it's gonna take you? Or
Oh yeah.
You know what I
Oh,
mean? Like-
definitely.
Like, on the surface.
yeah,
type
like vague.
of-
Give me something vague. I don't.
Right.
You don't.
You
need
don't,
a-
you don't need the
you
whole
don't need
laid
a-
out.
I don't need no enchilada right now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Give me some nachos real quick. Like, you know what is it gonna look like? Sweet Surrender. What do
Well,
you want it to look like? Or-
Right now, I'm doing the work and process to. I've already decreased my amount of work in my career, because for me, I feel like that's just not what I want to do the rest of my life. I don't want to work for somebody, and it's just not realistic to me anymore. So I'm gonna eventually start tapering down more of my work in that field, and I'm gonna start growing my my brand more. And I'm getting to that point already. Like it's
Where
gonna
you're
happen
just gonna
sooner.
break away completely from your
Yeah.
9 to 5, and you're gonna be self-employed entrepreneur.
Exactly.
Janet, Sweet Surrender LLC, all that, right? That's dope, man.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, it's just not for me anymore. You know, in this entrepreneur life, it's like it requires me to do some kind of work every day. You know,
Can you explain to people like
projects,
that how
art.
like a lot of people think that it's sweet to be your own boss, but you really have to be more disciplined.
It's like
and
working
more-
out, bro. That's why it parallels. Like, she already has the determination to work out, right?
Right, that's what I'm
So
asking
she
you to
has the
explain.
determination and the habits, you know, to run her own business.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same things that the habits that she built with working out are now just being
Le
transferred
estoy
over into her
preguntando a ella,
entrepreneurship.
Manny.
yeah, you know, I never thought about that, but he's right.
You know, like that's crazy because like a lot of people think, oh, it must be nice to be, you know, where you're at to have all, but it's like, nah, bro, I have to. Nobody.
It comes with huge
You're a lot
responsibility.
more responsibility than
Mhm.
having a punch in the clock and be like, okay, at the end of the day, the buck ends with that guy, not me. But in
Mhm.
this field, Sweet Surrender, it ends with Janet. It don't
Yeah.
end with nobody else but Janet. You know, so like, it's crazy how like to see the growth, and I'm hoping that I see the growth. You're gonna be on like on store shelves, you know, like on Sprouts. Like that's dope that you say that's what you want to do.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I mean, I'm gonna get there at some point. Of course, I have to. The thing is, like, it is small batches. It is just me, so I need to make sure that, you know.
Would you
I'm-
be
I'm
open
gonna
to
be
have it
able-
like mass produced, or you want to be hands on where it's always gonna be, you know, what's going into the like, cause you know how you say you saw the McDonald's, what's that movie called? The Founder.
Founder.
And you know how like when he let the guys in other cities open it, they started selling chicken in there, and he was like,
Yeah.
no, you know. So is that how you're kind of like looking at it? Like, I want to be hands on to where if I do expand that large,
Mhm.
they can't just make whatever, mass produce it, and it's not gonna have the same.
Yeah,
you know.
exactly. I'm very, you know, very picky and detailed. Like if I see something, I won't sell it. You know, and I mean, when I start doing this full time, I think I'll have a lot more time to do a bigger wholesale. You know, but like right now with a part time job, it's like you need to rest and eat and go to work and come back. And sometimes it's like you have to respect your body. If you don't want to produce, you can't. Like, I took 2 weeks off of pop-ups. In August, I hit a big goal. I had 8 pop-ups, 2 per week, and then I worked like 16 days in my day job. So I was like burnt out at the end of the month, but I was like so grateful and thankful. Like, thank you, God. Wow.
Damn, you needed that break.
I was like, oh my God. And then the universe started giving me signs like, you need to get out of your job. You need to come over here. Look at, you're making it. You have customers already. You need to leave that job. And things started to I took a 2-week break. Honestly, like I kind of, my body needed a break, like from soap making, candle making. And I took a little mini vacation. I think I told you guys. I went to Rosarito. Like I just completely.
Papas and beers.
Yeah, I was out there. Yeah.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
I'm like, even that, anything. I just needed a break. And for 2 weeks, I was not on social media for my business. I was not answering work calls.
So you went unplugged.
Yeah, I completely went unplugged,
That's dope.
And I didn't do any crafting at all. And now I'm back and I'm like, okay.
It's rejuvenated, right?
Yeah.
You feel like,
Exactly.
I remember the last time I did that was in 2014, 15, and I went to El Salvador and I didn't cut hair for 2 weeks. I think I cut my cousin's hair, but I didn't even consider that cutting. 'Cause it was just like one cut a day. And when I came back, I was like, I remember I came back and I was like, I'm going to do a design. And back then I didn't do designs. And the first haircut I did, I was like, yo, can I do a design on you? And the guy was like, yeah, and I did it. And ever since then, I just started doing designs. And it was like, yo, that break really helped my
Wow.
creativity,
Yes.
Like, it just came back
Oh
like,
my God.
whoa, what was this? Like, what was
Yes.
this hiding? And it was like, all you needed, bro, was to sit down, take a break, and then come back to it. And it was like, it just popped in your head. Like, I know how to do it now. I know what to do, So it's crazy that.
I feel the same thing. Like, every time I came back from a vacation, it like enhances my
creativity.
we call it our sacral chakra,
Oh, your chakras.
which is where the creativity
Right.
comes from. And it's like your mind is just like so sharp, and you're just like, you're creating things like, what the heck? Like, I did this?
Right.
Like, damn.
Nah, I'm due for one of those,
I've-
like where I take like 2 weeks off and I like,
Yeah.
I'm due for one of those. It's been
Anything. I mean,
2014,
even if it's
15.
just like to Big Bear for a couple, for a weekend. For me, it's like I
did the Vegas
love
one for my
Mexico.
birthday, but
No, that's
it
not
just-
really-
I didn't feel
that's
that.
not very
It isn't at
relaxing.
all. So
You
like,
went to an adult playground.
it was right, and like it was fun because it was my birthday.
You know that's what it is.
I don't know about that.
It was my 30-30, my 30. What is it? My
30-30.
Yeah, that.
Yeah.
And then but it wasn't like, now I feel like I'm really looking towards going to Hawaii, Bahamas, or Cancun. One of those, or even trying to maybe go see my grandma in El Salvador. But I have a short list of like, I need to go somewhere and unwind and like.
Yeah.
Like, I don't
And
need
turn off-
Wi-Fi access for a little bit. You know what I mean?
And
Just
like
to,
social media, what do they call it? A social media detox.
I've done
your
that.
cell phone too.
I did that recently.
Mm-hmm.
I always do that one where I like get off and I'm like, for my personal one at least, and then I'll just stay on my business one, and that's it's very helpful. I like that too.
Yeah,
So
same here.
At least even when I opened my business, I went off social media as far as my personal, and I just focused on my shop. I only had New Life for the 3 years. The first 3 years of the shop when I opened it was strictly just New Life. If you want to reach me, you had to go through a New Life page, and then once my son was born, I think is when I was like, all right, I need to start showing them off. And that's when I came back on Instagram. That was like 4 years ago. It's about to be 4 years.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so but then even within that, I think last year, didn't I take a detox off Instagram or something like that? Like where I just
your personal one.
yeah, my personal
your
one
personal
where I would just like that people need to do that because it's a lot of distractions on Instagram, and then a lot of
It
people's
is.
feeds you don't
It's
even
too
know.
much information.
A lot of
yeah.
information, and then like you
Constantly.
don't even know.
It's
You
like
can't
the
control
overload.
It
the
consumes
negative.
you
Yeah.
so
Right.
much, and it creeps
You're
up
like, what?
into
This is
your-
going on. This just happened. Wow. Like every second, every minute. Like
Involuntarily.
something's-
I feel like it consumes us
And
in
then
a
it
way
messes
where we're
with your
comparing ourselves.
Right,
Like,
and it
you're
messes
not
with your
trying to-
subconscious
yeah.
mind because then you start thinking of stuff that you're like, what? Like,
Well, the
You're
thing
comparing
is
yourself
that you're feeding too
subconsciously
many
and, like-
passions into your mind, right?
Yeah.
You can only give so much energy that you have into certain passions. And when you're constantly seeing different passions come up, you're depleting yourself.
Yeah.
constantly. So then
Right.
when you have to put effort into something, you can't put any effort into
Yeah.
it
I
because you
like
depleted
that.
yourself.
I like that,
It's
Manny.
true.
And Manny,
It's
I
true.
think you have a. What would you say? Because I think you were gonna go into something. What's another one of her passions?
Well, let's keep the best for last, right? I did hear that you like to go to EDM
Oh, yeah.
festivals.
I do.
So I have to
Is that a
ask, how
passion, or-
did you like fall in love with E EDM?
Okay. Well, I've been what everybody says. I've been raving. I've been going to events since they were all ages.
Mhm.
So I was probably, I want to say 16 when I went to my first event, which was EDC.
When it was here, right before I went to
It was
Vegas.
yeah. It was at that time. It was San
the year,
Bernardino.
the year before the
Nas.
kid died at, and remember when that kid died, and then they moved it to Vegas,
Actually, yeah. That I went to that one too. It was a 16-year-old.
right?
So it was all. It was
Yeah,
like a
because it
family.
used to be here in California.
It was a family event. Like you would go to EDC and they had carnival rides and people would take their kids. Like it was
Really?
totally okay.
Mhm.
I mean, most of the time they weren't the ones that were gone,
Mm-hmm.
you know, but once in a while you see
Bad
like a
apples and
loopy
stuff,
parent,
right.
you know, a little loopy parent, but it was okay cuz it was a carnival and they had things for kids and kids like you know, like
House music.
psychedelic art or whatever, cartoon characters. So it was kind of cool in that aspect. Like you could totally bring your family, you could bring your grandma here. What killed it was, that teenager that died. I think she took they said she took
Ecstasy?
acid. She did acid and she did ecstasy,
Mhm.
and I think she probably took
she
some
mixed,
mushrooms.
She mixed everything.
Yeah,
That's a cocktail.
exactly. And the thing is, like with teenagers or kids back then, like they didn't really have money. They didn't have money to buy water, and water was always
yeah.
for sale back then.
Yo,
And that's what
She
goes
died
for
of
a high price, bro. High water in
dehydration.
water in those
Yeah.
events.
And
And
Always
especially
gets
when you're
sold
doing
at a high
ecstasy.
price.
When you're doing ecstasy, I mean,
You gotta stay hydrated.
You gotta drink water, man.
gotta stay
Any type
hydrated.
of
Yeah.
drugs that you want to consume. I'm not endorsing drug habits because I'm
Right.
just coming off my own shit.
I
Trust me, it's
mean,
not something you want to do. But
Mhm.
like,
You gotta stay
you need to
hydrated.
drink water, man. Like
Yeah.
that's just
You
that's
need to
life.
drink water all the time.
All the time, period.
Regardless.
I just
on
started
drugs or
drinking
not.
water. Period. Like I have the habit. I got one of those big ass jugs that have like 1:00 night. Like they have the times and shit, and it helps. Like I've seen the difference in
Your
the
water consumption?
Yeah, but I've
Mm-hmm.
seen the difference in the frequency in the like I'm going to the bathroom, but I like to see that it's clear now. It used to be like soda all the time. Like
Yeah.
so this is like my second soda today. I used to have like soda breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So
Oh,
now it's like
my.
I'm drinking a lot of water. Like,
Yeah.
and then I'm seeing that my acne's starting to like kind of go down. Like I was getting a lot of acne on my back, and I was like, dude, it's soda and now and laters. So like,
What?
yeah, like as of late, I
He
think I
eats
was,
a lot of candy.
yeah, as of
It's not
late,
good.
right? As of late, I got a sick ass sweet tooth. As of late, I've been cutting down on my now and laters. Like I just been very more conscious of what I'm eating and what I'm
And
consuming.
Maury's been trying to
You
tell
said
him that's what gives you
conscious.
cavities.
It's true. Do you have cavities?
Nah, you know. So the reason why the last
Because
time I
he
went,
eats a lot of those now.
Nah, facts.
Yeah.
but you know how I used to eat them every day. So now what I've done is, like, I've recently told myself just bring them for the podcast. So I'll buy one right before like on Monday and Wednesday, but I don't usually buy.
You don't eat 'em at work anymore?
Nah, not anymore
Nah?
because it's just like. My brother said that about the cavities last time, and then I remember the last time I went to the doctor. When I was like 11 or 12, I had 13 cavities
Oh my.
all over my teeth. Yeah, I was bad back then too. So my sweet tooth never went away. And
Yeah.
then clearly, and back then they did the metal fillings, remember? Like where they had
Amalgam.
right.
Yeah.
So the dude last time when I went to my sister's cuz she's in the dental field too. I went to her office. He said that maybe the fact that I have those everywhere, like where I had a lot of, he's like, and there the areas where I have those fillings are where the little cracks where you can usually get cavities.
The biting surfaces.
Right. So he's like, the fact that they're covered with that already is why you haven't got cavities.
It's preventing you from
Yeah, he's like,
Sealants? Are we talking about sealants?
no, the fillings, because I got cavity fillings, right?
Oh.
But it's like metal. It's like
the silver
Oh,
one.
I
the
see.
silver
I see.
one,
So
right.
you didn't get more.
No,
cavities 'cause
he's
of
like,
the
yeah. He
biting.
said he thinks because I went to the dentist last year, and he was like, bro, and I told him because he says I need to floss some more, but I just recently got a water pick, so I love that. That's awesome. That's
Oh,
a dope
yeah.
ass invention.
It is.
It makes my mouth feel like whoa, what was that?
It's like giving yourself a little cleaning.
Yes, it's like,
Yeah,
and then when you
with-
spit
with,
everything
like, a
out, it's like,
professional cleaning.
right? You guys need to
Mhm.
invest in that. Like, whoever invented that, God bless their heart.
It's actually made for people with braces, but it's good because it's a good
It's
device
like
to
it's
use
like
on yourself.
almost like flossing, right?
Exact. It's like
It's almost like the stuff that they have in the dental office. That little thing that sprays the water off when they're cleaning your teeth.
No,
and
yeah,
stuff.
it's like a Cavitron. It's and it has different little different pieces that you can attach to it. So depending on like the grooves or where the between the gums or if you have braces, people use it with braces. Pretty
That's
much.
funny. One of my clients, I just got that device like 2 weeks ago, and one of my clients has braces yesterday. I was cutting his hair, and I was like, "Yo, bro, because he saw me chewing gum, and he's like, I can't chew gum no more because of my braces." I'm like, "Bro, really? You can't?" He's like, "Nah, I just don't want to. I don't want nothing to get stuck."
Oh yeah.
And then I told him, I'm like, "Bro, I got the thing for you." And it's funny because he just texted me today earlier, like reminding me, like, "Yo, send me the link for that toothpick that you were talking about." And it's like, because he has braces and he's at like they're bad. Like, I'm sorry, Jason. I mean, but he's like, "Yo, they're about to put something else in my mouth, and I need something to like. I don't want to eat just anything because everything gets stuck." And I'm like, "Damn, I'm so glad I don't have those problems anymore." 'Cause
Yeah, it's like
braces-
having hardware in your mouth. It is uncomfortable.
cutting your lip up and all that time. I
Mhm.
feel like sometimes my teeth still shift because when I'm like chewing, I'll bite myself, and I'm
Mhm.
like, "Oh, it's because I don't wear my retainer anymore."
It's your teeth will always get crooked as you age if you don't wear retainers. You gotta wear them at least every other day.
I always
Because
forget.
if you don't, it just naturally happens when you get older. You especially the lower teeth, it starts to like bunch up, and they say that your jaw shrinks. I don't know. I don't see that, but older people say that your head shrinks, your jaw, your nose starts to get bigger.
Oh, I heard that.
Like just gravity starts to change your face so much when you get old. So yeah, your
Shut up,
teeth,
for real?
Wild.
your teeth on the lower. I feel like maybe the lower
I
jaw
think I
gets
do
narrow.
believe that just because I've seen a lot of older people that do like I've seen that. And you
Lot
can
of
see like
crooked
older,
teeth on
yeah,
the lower.
yeah, like you see older pictures of them, like when they were younger and it wasn't like that, and then you see them now and it's like bunched up.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So back, my bad. We got sidetracked. Back
No,
to
it's all
the-
good,
back
man.
to
It was a
your,
good conversation.
Oh, the raves.
Yeah.
Right.
So like, what was the DJ that you fell in love with?
You must really love EDM, huh? No,
Ah.
I don't.
Nah.
I've had several.
Maybe.
I've had several favorite, but I think that I stick to pretty much the same ones that I grew up listening.
like the Asian guy. What's his name? Damn, I forgot his name.
Steve
Yeah.
Aoki.
Yeah, that guy. You like him?
Oh, he's been around forever too. Yeah. No, I started off listening to like Tiesto, Marcus Scholes, Above and Beyond,
You don't know what you're talking about.
Very
I know who
Corson.
Tiesto is, but I don't know who
Tiesto
he
is a
Ferry
huge name.
Corson.
Bro, all my homies, bro, you tripping, bro. Like, especially the era she's talking about. All my homies that I grew up with were popping pills and listening to that music. So I know what it is. I just wasn't one that was into it. Like,
I'm just saying.
I'm a
he's-
hip hop head.
He listens to it a lot more, so I'm saying he
No,
would
for
know.
sure. No, I know the names. I just don't know like how they sound. Like, and it was nothing that it wasn't my interest. And I think it was my friends that turned me off from it back then because they were so into the ecstasy that I was like,
that wasn't
nah,
me.
like.
That wasn't me. I just always loved the music, to be honest with you.
And I'm glad he
Crunch
did.
is always playing that music, so I'm used to working out and playing. I mean, and
Listening
at the
to it.
gym. I know,
Yeah.
because it really pumps you up.
It does.
And
Yeah, they used it for the wrong
It's-
reasons.
It's hype music.
But yeah, so my first event was EDC, and then after that, I would always go to Nocturnal Wonderland, which is also like.
Did you dress up? Were you one of those girls that like decided to get like dressed up and
You know,
Neon colors.
I
glow in the dark sticks and stuff?
I did. I didn't get as crazy as other
Any
people
paint?
did.
Like paint on the body, none of that.
No, I just would wear. I would wear like little tube. I was a little more overweight back then, so I would wear like tube dresses and fishnets and like flats. But now, of course,
I'm just saying
now I'm
'cause, like-
fit, so I dress a little bit more, provocative. What you would say, like, oh my God, did you really walk out the house in that? Yeah, I'm going to a freaking rave.
Got you. No, but that's just like that. My question with that would be like, you kind of answered it because you said that back then you were a
Yeah, I
certain,
was-
you
yeah, I
know,
wasn't
and then
working
now.
out. Mhm.
So it's a trip how like it just comes with confidence that you're like, man, I'm gonna wear what I want.
Yeah.
And like, what has been
Well,
the
she
like,
worked hard for the body, right?
right? Like, so you're gonna show it off, right? That's how you literally feel, or is it more like I just want to wear this
Show it
because I
off.
want to wear it?
I love feeling good in my body and my skin, and yeah, I mean I like wearing things that make my my shoulders stand out.
But that's because you've worked on your shoulders.
Yeah, and it's like I feel like these shorts really complement my legs and my anatomy.
You have a tattoo that's just also staring back at me. You know what I mean? 'Cause it's a face, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, that's all.
I'm very into Day of the Dead.
Dope.
I got this. Well, it's not done yet, but I got this tattoo after a few family members passed. And
Have you seen the movie Rio? Is that the name? Rio on Disney?
That's not the one.
What's the name of it?
It's Coco, I think.
Coco, have
Coco
you
is
seen
what
Coco?
you're talking about.
Yo, did you catch the joke in that Coco movie?
I don't remember anymore. It's been a few years.
I was
remember
just watching it with my son recently, man.
Uh-huh.
You gotta watch it, and then I'll follow up with you on that joke the inside or next time if we have you on a
Okay.
episode. So watch it again, because I was like, yo, they really put this in a Disney movie? Nah. Yes, they did something sus like that. I was like, yo, they did not.
They make some good movies with good messages, though.
It had a great message, but it was just funny that the joke that they put in there was just like, it's the fact that kids are kids, they didn't get it, but
It's like watching Zootopia, bro, and kids don't understand.
that has a message.
Or
for sure.
what other? There's a bunch of cartoons like that actually that are like, what? Did they really say that? So
But they just go over your head as kids.
What's another one of your passions that you like besides EDM or music, or what's another thing that keeps you motivated or helps you keep going? You know what I'm saying? And this crazy ass life that we have.
I mean, honestly, like my business right now is such a huge part of my life and my passion right now. Like, it's honestly this last month I came across so many different energies, people and energies, and some of those energies like stuck with me. Like the things that I hear, like it's just so trippy. Honestly, the people I'm around, like I go to this gym in Thousand Oaks, and I come across like there's a rehab. I think it's like they're all white, they're all Caucasian, but all these people had drug problems, and they come in to the gym, and they're buying stuff from me, and they're asking me for advice, like healing advice. So not only am I making soap and candles, but I'm also like giving people like spiritual advice, how to like heal themselves and how to come out of situations that they're in. And that's crazy to me, because it's like I really didn't sign up for this, but at the same time I feel like it's like my calling from the universe to help these people.
It's like that saying, you know how they have that saying that hurt people hurt people?
Yeah.
So I realized that healed people heal people. So like if you're healing, you can help somebody that needs to be healed.
Yeah.
And we help each other like that, but a lot of us are going around hurting each other, and then the cycle always never ends. You know what I'm saying?
All
and
the
not
time.
until we're self-aware of the hurt we've been through that then we can start helping others and going through, because I've been going through the same thing where I'm just trying to be positive and help people because I came out of sobriety, and I'm trying to, keep that. And it's very important, because the more you help, the more rewarding it is for you. You know what I'm saying? Like
it is. And it's crazy because a lot of people gravitate towards me, and it's like I never would have thought in like, a nice luxury gym that people have these kinds of issues, but they do. Like people come up to be like, I've been 120 days sober. I'm so happy. And your products are making me feel like my transformation even better. Like I feel amazing. I feel good in my skin. Or I had this lady that
you don't know how it feels to like make it to the 120-day mark.
Yeah.
And, like I'm on my like 270 something day.
Oh really?
Yes, and it feels like when you start seeing like 100 days to 120, you're like you get to 200 days, you're like, yo, so kudos to you. You're really helping a lot of people that
Thank you.
You wouldn't even know. Like you're probably helping them like that words of advice or words of affirmation that you're giving them can take them from not relapsing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because to be honest, from an addict, it's so easy to relapse. Like sometimes I can have an issue with like my family. My mom, I got into it with her one time, and it was like I remember leaving the house and I was like, this is exactly why I was popping. Like, and I remember telling myself that.
Oh my.
And I managed not to relapse, and I've still been on my stuff. But like, yo, good stuff, because a lot of people need that, and like we're in a really other epidemic of people needing help with drugs and addiction and stuff. And
It's all these people got into drugs during COVID, and I
even
tell
worse,
them,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm so happy for
A lot of
you.
people got into heavy drinking.
Right.
A lot of
A
people.
lot of different types
yeah.
of things.
And like these, like people that don't look like they
Nope.
would, you know what I mean? It's crazy. but-
Everybody that looks at me, they were like, "You were on pills, what?" And I'm like, "Yeah, bro, I was a functioning addict. You know, like you could never tell." And I was. That's the worst thing about addiction, that you're living a lie, because everybody around you thinks it's almost like depression. Everybody thinks you're
Yeah.
fine
yeah,
and you're good, but depression is like you never know that person's depressed.
right.
Same thing with addiction. Like there's certain people that could compose themselves enough to where they seem fine, they're looking good,
Mhm.
and then one day you just hit them like, "Nah, bro, I've been popping pills for 7 years." Like when I told my brother, he was like, "What?
Well, yeah, look at Travis Barker. I saw his story the other day. I'm like, I didn't even know he
What?
went through all that and
What?
was a
What?
pill popper.
He has a story?" I mean, no, obviously,
Well,
but it's
his
like,
story's big now because now he's like with
With
Chloe, or what's her name? I forgot. her name.
Courtney?
Courtney.
where
so
did
his
they share
story
his
blew
story?
up.
Where did,
I
on
don't-
their show, or
I think no, not here. On I just saw it on Facebook. I think one of those talk shows. They had
Gotcha.
him on there, and he was just his story is really crazy. It's sad too, the way his mom passed away and his plane accident and all that. But it's like you don't sign up for those things, but you're going through something, so you have to take the Western meds, and then it's like you get addicted, and it's hard because it's like you're in pain, and now you're addicted, and it's really hard to get at. Like people don't understand, like being on medication, coming off. It's such a mental struggle.
It
It really is.
Yeah.
Like this lady I met the other day, I think she was probably on, like, she said she used to do methamphetamine, and she asked me for body butter because her skin was so picked at.
damn.
And so yeah, I have a couple clients that have been buying it because they used to be skin pickers because they were doing whatever it was they were.
Right.
And it seemed like she was on some type of like recovering rehab meds. Like she was shaking a lot. I don't know, what is it, methadone?
Oh,
or something,
methadone. Right,
maybe?
right.
But
There's
it,
methadone and Suboxone.
it took so much out of her to come over and talk to me. I feel like it almost makes them like self-isolated and not want to like,
Interact.
connect or interact.
It's very shameful, especially when you're on that. If she was on methadone and it seemed like it was her first few days on it because she's still shaking like that, yeah, it's very embarrassing. You know what I'm saying? Because at that point, you're already starting to become back to your senses. You're like getting out of the numb side of being on drugs and being in that state where you're
Yeah,
not.
he had a shaking tick.
Man,
His leg would shake, yeah.
I couldn't sleep when I was getting sober. Like it was bad. Like, and
Oh,
now I even look
really?
back where I'm like, it was like, and then I had anxiety.
Mhm.
Like it was the worst anxiety. I've
I
never
know,
dealt with
right?
things. I used to look at people like, you're weak if you like. I had a friend back then that she used to tell me, I have anxiety, that's why I don't smoke weed. And I'm like, what? Weed gives you anxiety? How? And then I used to look at her like, you're so weak. Like, not until I got sober and I dealt with like 20 days of it was an anxiety that like it was like a leaky faucet. Like I would always need to go use the restroom. And the worst thing about it was happening during work. So imagine you're creating a candle and somebody asks you for a custom order and you're like, okay, I got to make this custom order. But every time you want to get into your creativity, you get into that urge, you need to go pee.
Yeah.
And it would not stop. And it's always into that. And it was weird. It was always at that moment of creativity.
Yeah.
And it was like, I remember talking to my mentor about it and like telling him like, yo, I don't know how to get through this. And he's like, man, honestly, it's just the drugs. Your nervous system needs to readjust and you're getting back. Your body's getting reacclimated to how it used to be. So just give it time. But he would always say, just stop thinking about it. And I'm like, bro, that's so hard. Like, I'm literally feeling like I'm controlling that muscle from pissing all over myself in my barbershop. Like, it was the worst. Oh my God. It was, and then that's when I started looking into anxiety and how to deal with it and how to treat it. Meditation helped me and stuff. Like,
I know. And it's
prayer.
like they don't teach us this when we're little.
Nope.
My mom no one teaches you about how to heal yourself and meditate and none of that. All they teach us is go to the doctor. And what does the
Right.
doctor do? I mean, I actually had an episode too before. It's like I went to the psychologist and the psychologist, she
Adderall and all this stuff.
yeah,
and
they
shit.
put me on all kinds of stuff and I hated the way I felt. I felt like every day was like a struggle, and it was like a deep depression. Like I felt like
And you're supposed to be getting
devil.
better, but they're giving you all this shit
and they're like,
that's
it's
not.
a 6 week period. You'll feel better. You're gonna get suicidal thoughts. Just
What?
one day at a time.
Good.
One day at a time.
I'm good.
He really told you
Yeah,
that?
it's
Oh my
it's a
God.
side effect. We'll start you on the lowest, and I was like, no, I don't like the way I feel. Well, you can't come off the meds. It's dangerous. You can't. It's not gonna be. It's I don't know what it'll do. And I said, you know what? I don't care. I don't like the way this is making me feel. I tapered myself. I think I Googled it, and I just like, it said if you want to do it, take one day, and the next don't, and then eventually
Yep, that's
take
tapering off.
take half pill, and then eventually, and I did.
I remember when I was going
I
through
did.
trying to get sober, like most of my relapses was because I was tapering, and I would always be like, all right, so I would always lose count of how I was supposed to taper. So finally, one time I said I can't do this no more. I just gotta go cold turkey.
Yeah, eventually
Like,
I think that's what I did, cold
just-
turkey, because I didn't want to have that in my head anymore.
Like yeah, like being on top of like, okay, how much do I have to take today so I don't fucking trip out? Like
It was like 4 different bottles,
oh man.
Oh man.
and it was like I was like I can't deal with.
Was
And I
this-
feel like they were all like not interacting well with each other.
They were having.
So you
bad-
felt like in a chemical imbalance.
Yeah, I did. Like I was like on Klonopin and I don't know antidepressant
long ago was this?
pills. This was like in the beginning of my diagnose. Yeah. So
Gotcha.
this is why fitness like really like just
It blew all that stuff out, all that
it
medication.
did.
And
I
just like
didn't want to live anymore.
really.
I didn't. I was so depressed. I was so depressed with my life, honestly. And if it wasn't for my kids and fitness, I think I would not. I don't know if I would. I don't know where I would have ended up, because I was really. It was so hard to get out of a depression when you're in that deep. And I had a therapist, and I just thought she was garbage. I was like, you know what? She's fucking garbage. She's telling me that I'm too. She can't help me. She's telling me she can't help me. She's telling me that I have too much anxiety, and so I asked for a different therapist, and I finally 4 years later, I got a really good therapist, and she was really good.
It's
and
crazy how
she
they
made
say
me
that
see so
like for
much.
therapy they say that sometimes you can't just go with the first person because that doesn't mean that you're a match for them, so you have to go through a few people.
Yeah,
And,
I
like,
didn't know that. I was. So
I didn't know. I don't
young.
know that either. I just heard that recently because I've been being told to like start seeking therapy and counseling just because, like I told you, hurt people, and heal people, and ever since I got sober, I've been trying to heal myself from all my shit. So it's a trip. I still haven't found a therapist, but I'm gonna start looking because it's very important to be able to talk to people about
It's
stuff.
important to have. Yeah, I mean, I just I'm in the community of meditating, and I go meditate with the people, and we all uplift each other, and everybody gives each other healing tools, healing advice, just offers open arms, and if you need medicine, like plant medicine, whatever it is, whatever you need to avoid going to
the
Western doctors, because honestly, and nobody told me this. Everybody just told me therapist, and the therapists were making me worse. And then at some point, I'm like, I just don't think this is for me. Like that therapist was telling me, you do need to stay on meds. Like maybe you just need to accept the fact that you need to stay on Xanax, and you need to stay on the antidepressants.
Damn.
And I couldn't believe she
that's
was
part of the
telling that.
industry, though.
Yeah.
But that's what they're going by the book,
Yeah.
the book that they learned, the book of Western medicine. And I just thought, like, there has to be something else.
It's like that Big Sean song where
Which
he
one?
talks to what is it? I
Talks
think-
about him having a heart disease and that his mom gave
Yeah.
him mercury, I believe, and that he got better.
Yeah, he went to the holistic doctor because he went to the Western doctor and they told him he had a heart condition.
Mm-hmm.
Then he went to a holistic doctor. They told him drink this. When he went back to the Western doctor, they told him that he was cured.
Oh snap.
Yeah, he talks about that in a song. He's like, and he says Western medicine is
No,
weak.
there's a lot of
It's a lot of people that are being misdiagnosed.
Mhm.
And I mean, I wish I had more holistic education back then. But like I said, no one taught me that in my family. Like everybody's like, just go to the doctor,
And how are you?
You didn't have like what do they call it? Like medicina casera. You didn't have that either?
Remedies?
I tried all
Yeah.
that.
House remedies?
I tried.
No,
with
I'm
my
just saying,
mom.
like, you didn't learn, like, that stuff either? Like,
My mom tried to help me with like teas and vitamins and things like that. I really tried, but the thing is, like, my situation, I think my thyroid levels were really out of whack, and I got really scared because my doctor's like, if you don't get the treatment, if we don't kill your thyroid, then basically your thyroid's gonna attack your heart. And I did. I had high blood pressure, and my heart rate was always like super high. Like I would drink coffee, and I would go to the ER. Like I felt like I was dying. It was bad. Like my anxiety was really, really bad. So I was like,
You know what's crazy? I just seen a documentary on this today on the Untold series on Netflix.
yeah.
So they have a new one on.
oh, they have a new one?
Yeah. So the last one was on Bruce Jenner, on Caitlyn Jenner.
Oh, yeah.
You're
I saw
talking the
that.
hockey one?
And then they had the hockey one, and then now they had one on a tennis player, Marty, I think something. But he was he was top 10 in the 2000s or something. But he had a heart condition that his anxiety would trigger it, and his heart was just going crazy. It was
Yeah.
crazy to see that his story. It's kind of similar to yours that you just start racing once coffee, and like that's insane. Coffee would trigger that.
It would. Coffee.
So
would
you can't even
trigger
drink
it.
like an energy drink.
Well, I mean, now I don't drink energy drink. No,
okay,
I
yeah,
don't.
that's not
I
holistic
really,
at all for sure.
Yeah, I don't do. I do coffee because it's fiber, and I feel like it also relieves my pain, my body when it's in pain. It awakens my chakras.
Do you like natural coffees, or do you like brand
Yeah,
name? Like
no, I'm okay. I'm not really.
Starbucks?
No, I'm not a Starbucks girl. I'm not gonna make.
Whoever
Starbucks
drinks
more
coffee
rich.
doesn't go to Starbucks.
I don't. I mean,
Real coffee drinkers don't go to Starbucks.
I prefer natural, homemade coffee. I just, I mean, McDonald's kind of has good coffee. I don't know what it is about McDonald's.
really. It's the founder, I think. It's just they have that much impact in your life.
That coffee's good.
You're loving it.
Yeah.
They
But-
didn't pay us for that.
I think it's just where they're going to get it, you know?
But I mean, yeah, like so basically my adrenaline system, my nervous system was completely out of whack, and my pituitary gland in my brain, which explains so much of my anxiety and my depression. So all that was out of whack, and which is why I didn't want to live anymore, and which is why I can't drink Red Bull and any of those things. And honestly, like I couldn't balance my life in the way I felt since I got diagnosed until I just opened up to like spirituality more and just being more mindful and just self-healing techniques and meditating. Even though I swear I didn't meditate good for like 2 years, I would always fall asleep. But you got to start somewhere.
What's one of your self healing techniques that you can share with somebody that might be dealing with depression or anxiety? You never know who's listening.
Yeah, of course. I like at my pop-ups, I hear a lot of stories. People vent to me all the time, and I always invite them to. And I have gotten some people to come out and meditate
So meditating is
to
a
group
big thing.
meditations. Sound healing is what it's
Ooh,
called.
Yeah, I've done that too, yo.
It's very hypnotizing, and it's.
I remember
very
coming back
healing.
and telling these guys about it, and I was like, "You guys gotta do this. This is insane. This is crazy. Like, it is sound baths are
Sound bath is intense.
Very
It
intense,
is
y'all.
so wow.
talking about chakras and
You
then,
go
like,
into like a different realm. Honestly, once you start tapping in and let yourself go, wow, like you see some stuff.
Right.
You don't need any drugs. You don't
Right.
need
Nope.
anything. All you have to do is completely
close
like
your eyes and just
surrender and just don't judge your thoughts that are coming up and just completely let your body relax.
I remember we let out so much that morning. I did my last sound bath was for Valentine's Day this year.
Oh my
and
god,
it
you're
was
overdue.
oh yeah, for sure. And it
Mhm.
was like everything got released out. Like it just like a floodgate in my like, and it was crazy because I couldn't, like, my body felt something that I had never felt before. And it's like my sound bath wasn't like your sound bath where you're, you know how you're supposed to go somewhere and it's a sound bath and you're
Mhm.
laying next to all the
bowls.
bowls and stuff.
Yeah.
So mine was a virtual one because it was in the middle of COVID. Like
Oh,
it
how
was
weird.
it was weird, but the fact that it was like when my mentor, like, and I know him and everything, but it was like I think like 400 people virtually all together, and you can see them on the Zoom and everything. But like he was like, oh, get headphones and put them on when you're like laying on the floor.
Nice. There
and
you go.
it felt like he still told me like you still have to come back and do the one with me. because it's a different experience that together.
Way better experience.
You
yeah.
for sure, but
Mhm.
I still got that experience that like that I didn't think I was gonna get because I was like at first I saw my body or my not even my body, my consciousness not try to buy into it. It's like, what are you doing here, bro? This is
Yeah,
stupid. Like
like
and
embarrassed,
then
shame,
right, and then
judgments.
I remember like
Negative self-talk.
my lower self.
Mhm.
I remember my boy on the Pharaoh was like, I can sense people having doubt right now, and he said I remember him saying, let that go. And then he starts with his story like the things are like dong and everything's going right, and
Yeah.
he's like you're walking up. I remember the story still like you're walking up a hill or a mountain or something like that, and you see you like he's so in tuning you with like your senses and like
guiding you. Mhm.
guiding you through this, and you're visually seeing like the hill, and then you see like the whole thing that he's like, and you see the whole valley like, and it's all like green and like it was amazing, y'all. Like y'all got to get a sound bath.
Yeah.
That I highly
if you guys
recommend it.
ever want to go, you're
Yeah,
more than
where
welcome
do
to
you go?
with
Where do
me.
you?
I go to a couple areas. So they have some here in LA, maybe like I think twice a month, and then once a month they have some in Long Beach. And I've connected with a lot of people that need heal, especially during COVID. Like a lot of people really needed healing and connection. People don't realize that like depression, yeah, it's hard, it's sad, but it's a time for you to start. It's a time for you to connect with other people.
Right.
You have to if you don't connect with people, you get sunken more into
Depression
depression.
usually is because of the lack of connection.
It is.
You know?
And it's
The
lack
fact
of
that-
using your throat chakra.
Mhm.
So if you don't use your voice, you get sick because you start getting blockages
Right,
built inside
exactly.
your body, your temple.
Mhm.
And people don't know that, but when you go to sound healing, what it does,
Opens the pathways for everything.
releases all of that. And it releases everything that doesn't serve you anymore, and you feel so rejuvenated
Right.
and replenished, and you
Very.
feel like life is exciting and beautiful again, and everything, like even the lights look brighter, the trees look more green, like you suddenly love nature, and nature's medicine too.
Right, it
you
is.
know,
That's why it was scary that during COVID they were like, stay inside, don't go out on. It was like, what, bro? Like, you know how many depressed people out here in the world? Like, y'all gotta go outside, go get some fresh air.
right?
But nah, man, it's been an honor to have you here. I love the energy. I
Thank
love what
you.
you represent.
Thank you for being here with us.
Before we end that though, what is the name of the website so that way our listeners can go and buy these soaps?
Candles.
Candles,
Well,
butter.
I usually direct people into my Instagram,
Okay.
which has my link to my website, which is on Etsy. But I always tell people to just DM me.
What's your Instagram handle?
It's Sweet Surrenders 222.
Yep.
And the 222 is an angel number, abundance. I kept seeing that number come up during the time where I was thinking of a name for my brand, and that's how that pieced together. Sweet Surrenders 222, abundance, angel number. I mean, angel numbers are also signs from the universe or God, whatever source, God, universe, it's all the same
Right.
thing. It's source. It's just whatever your beliefs are.
The label you
know?
want to put on it.
Exactly, but we are all connected, and we
Oh.
all believe in
Oh,
the same thing.
this is what you do, okay?
we just differentiate it by what we were brought up or our beliefs, what our beliefs are, but it's all the same thing. pretty
Talented.
much. Thank you.
very, very talented.
So yeah, I always tell people just DM me whatever you want, and sometimes people want to come to my pop-ups, and I always announce my pop-ups on my Instagram.
You also make bracelets?
Those I just supply for
Got you.
the spiritual. And you know what? I'm really surprised and I'm really happy. There's another great awakening happening, and I feel like more people are tapping in, especially men. I'm so proud of all you men that meditate and that come by crystals for me and candles.
Can you
and
tell me a
ask
little bit about that? Because I
and ask
never
me
really
how to
got
use
into the
sage.
crystal and the sage and all that. What do you?
Oh yeah. Well, basically, it's for people. I have protection crystals, protection. I have healing crystals. So it just depends on your situation, what you're going through. But I mean, if I always tell people, like my to-go-to crystals are the amethyst. So I always have an amethyst on me, and I always have a grounding crystal, like an onyx, the black ones, or hematite, which is a very strong negative repellent crystal. And it's good because everybody's telling me, the crystals are working for me. Thank you so much. Like, situations haven't been as bad, or I've been able to get out of a funk because of your crystals. And so sage too. And then they asked me about sage, like how should they use it or when should they use it. So, I'm really happy for all the men. All the masculine men are actually more comfortable within their skin and with themselves, and they're starting to tap in. And the women have always been there more, because that's just the divine
They're more
feminine.
in tune with their senses.
They're
and stuff.
intuitive. Women are just very intuitive. But
Right.
now I'm happy because it's like now the tables
It's
are
balancing
turning.
out.
Yeah, exactly.
It is because
yeah.
now we got entrepreneurs like yourself. Back in the day, women weren't taking that leap of faith, and now a lot more women are taking that leap of faith and showing off. Like
Yeah.
that's you killing the game right there. Like
Thank you.
that mermaid I just saw was dope. That's sick. That's sick.
La Sirenita.
Yeah.
And when it
Thanks.
comes to pop-ups, Janet,
Mhm.
do you go? Is it mainly based on San Fernando Valley or is it LA area?
Yeah, basically, it's mostly in the valley. I mean, I've been trying to come out more, but it's kind of risky sometimes, and it's a risk I have to take. I know we were talking about this, like, I get invited to different pop-ups, but sometimes it's like I don't know if I'm gonna do as good there, so I usually stick to the ones in the
Local.
areas where I do know that I'll do good. But not every time is the same thing, and that's just part of the having a business in the process. You can't really let that get to you. But yeah, most of them.
understandable.
I have one coming up at the end of this month in the San Fernando Mall. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that area.
Yeah, down the street, right?
Yeah, they have. It's actually, this is Hispanic Heritage Month,
It
so
is.
Yes,
this is our
correct.
month,
Correct.
guys.
Yep.
Latino stand up.
And it's
So-
also
Yep.
Central American.
It was perfect to have you
Independence.
today.
Thank you.
Shout out to the
Yeah.
Saudis.
So we'll be having a
And the
Latino
Mexicans and the
Heritage
Mexicans.
Month artisan market out in San Fernando Mall. So they actually block off the whole street. It's from like I think I want to say it's the last Saturday. I think it's September 24th or 25th, and it's gonna be from 4 to 9 p.m. It's so much fun. They have the oldies cars there. They have like
It's the first time you do it.
the beer, the micheladas, like all the Mexican or the Hispanic culture stuff, the tostilocos, whatever they call them.
It's the
the-
first time you do this event.
No,
or-
this is my second. It's gonna
Oh,
be my
nice.
second one. So it's very artisanal and very Hispanic. It's nice, and they have like flocorico and stuff.
Brown Pride people. Brown Pride.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And I have that one for now, and then just LA Fitness. Like that's all I have this month. Last month it was like I just did a little too much.
I also
So
bring that.
this month I'm gonna take it a little bit easier.
I also bring that up because somebody in our YouTube live, which it's a friend, a homie Lonnie who goes to the gym.
Lonnie?
Yeah, I'm not sure if you know who he is.
I do know Lonnie.
So he's-
Oh shoot.
So he says he told me he's like, tell her to look into Angel City Market and Haven Sorier on IG. They're always doing good pop-ups in LA, and a lot of people and vendors looking for soaps and candles and all that.
Oh nice.
Oh,
Angel City
Just-
Market.
Network.
He's just
Oh, I haven't seen him in a while. Hi Lonnie.
yeah.
How
Definitely.
cool. Such
what's
a
up. See?
small
See?
world.
Now the platform is reaching, so now you know that people are out here listening and watching and stuff.
Yeah, and I always encourage people too. It's like if you ever want to start something for y'all, I will help you.
Dope.
I just do it, go for it. It's an experiment. Everything's trial and error, and I support anybody that wants to start their brand or something they feel is gonna be good, or anything they want to put out there. DM me, and I will get you into some entrepreneurship markets. There's so many out there that are looking for, and honestly, entrepreneurs are taking over the world. Like they really are. Everything handmade, everything natural. I mean, it doesn't have to be that exact. It could be something unique, like, making somebody I didn't even know they make candles out of beer bottles.
What?
Yeah, or cans, beer cans, or just like fancy limited edition kind of candles with cans. And I'm like, that's so cool.
Right, it's creative.
Yeah.
So anything that you feel like you want to come out and bring out, like, do it, go for it. I'll guide you, and I'll let you know when the next entrepreneurship market is, or the next vendor market is. Like it's so easy, and you never know till you just go for it. You just follow your heart, follow your dreams. You have to do it. It's the only way to get by in this life. Like, you can't just think like, okay, you can't just think like your 9-to-5 job is it. That's not it. That's just being very limited. You know, that's what society taught you to do. I mean,
Right.
I don't know if we want to get into
Thank you.
politics.
No,
but
let's
it's
get
like,
into it. Yeah, yeah.
you know, you're programmed the way society wanted you to be.
Preach it, preach
you
it,
know?
yup.
And it's like, honestly, you gotta make your
We're
own
like conditioned,
dharma.
basically.
Mhm.
Exactly.
It's
You
all
got to make your
programming.
own dharma. You got to be creative. You got to make something else for yourself other than your 9 to 5. Like that's not everything in life.
Because at the end of the day, like I was telling my dad this the other day, I'm like, we're gonna get older, and then all at the end that you have is regret, like what you could have done and stuff, you know. But it's like, why not take a leap of faith on yourself, bet
Now.
on yourself now that we're young, that we have time, because at the end of the day, we don't even know how much time we got. So why live your life
Exactly.
on somebody else's terms when you have your life, your passion, your desires that you want to, you know, that God's placed in your heart, your mind to do. But yeah, but stop being scared and take that leap of faith. You know
Right.
what I mean? Because we're living in a different age now where everybody could get money. We have a phone that can make your product go to the masses.
Mhm.
You know, it's no longer word of mouth. Like, imagine if we were doing this, if I was cutting hair in the 90s and you were doing this in the 90s, how much more harder it would have been to reach the masses that you want to reach to.
That's
Now it's like
facts.
you getting DM from people that probably live. Do you do like orders to other towns and other states?
have,
You
yeah,
see,
I
like,
do.
and you
Mhm.
get support from total strangers that you wouldn't even know about. But that's because we decided to take the leap of faith, and you know, like
It is. And I mean, honestly, it's like the society teaches you, like, okay, work hard and retire at 65. No, why not start living your best life now? Why do you have to wait that long when your body's already run down and
right.
exhausted
then
to
at
take
50,
vacations?
at 50, they can get somebody at 20 and take your job, or even now they're
Exactly.
doing machines that are gonna take jobs.
Like,
and,
that's
you know,
really, I actually think that's a very old age to still be working. Like, I honestly, I told my mom I wanted her to retire like 10 years ago, but we told her to retire, I think 59 maybe. That's just way too old to still be working. Like, you need to enjoy your life and, you know, cut work down. And it's just not okay the way they teach us to live.
but
you
but
know?
I agree with that. But then I feel bad because then like the price of living is so like, and we live in California, you know.
Yeah.
So it's like I do see, or and I gotta empathize with some people that like they go for the secure side sometimes, you know, because cost of living is expensive,
Right.
you know, and then
But the health is not.
right, and
all
that's something that
there.
you don't get back sometimes. That, you know, the stress that these jobs give you for a low paycheck and stuff like that,
No.
that is just not worth it.
It's
and
not.
ultimately you end up with regret. You know, because your time that's the only thing you don't get back. You know.
My mom wanted to work an extra 5 years just so she can get an extra, I think, $200 or $100
Right.
on her SSI.
yeah.
And I'm like, are you kidding me, Mom?
Like, I got you, Mom. I'll make that 200.
No. I was like, I will give you that. I'm
Right,
like,
that's how
"No,
I see it. That's-
Absolutely not.
yeah.
And she's like, but my insurance. No, Mom, you're going to get Medi-Cal or Medicaid, whatever it is. And everything ended up working out. It's like she wanted to stay working even though her health was going downhill.
Deteriorating.
And her
everything.
body and her body was not looking good, you know, just to keep insurance and just to make an extra $200
You gotta
on
kill yourself
retirement.
and work your ass off, and then you
No.
get nothing, crumbs.
Exactly. No.
Nah, man, it's real, because that's what this country is teaching us, to like go work for somebody, and it's not, I'm not saying that, I'm not knocking nobody that does it,
Right.
but I feel like we have to still always put time for ourselves, because eventually you're gonna get tired of that 9 to 5, you know. So
Right.
if you, let's say, if you tried something else on your time off, like for instance us right here, we got the podcast. This is after hour. Like, who knows, 5 years from now we might be getting endorsements to where we won't have to work anymore, because we've been so consistent with the podcast that we got viewership up, we got all this, you know, the opportunities that came our way because we were consistent with it.
Yeah.
But we took that leap of faith and we started it, you know, God willing. Thank God to my brother that he had the vision to like, yo, let's start something, and then we all just bought in.
Yeah.
And now we're here almost like over a year now doing this, and like really, you know, it's dope to see somebody on live just say, look, you could do this, go take it there, you know. So
Yeah, thank
don't
you.
give up on yourself, man.
I'm
like,
so proud of you guys. This is awesome, honestly. Like,
nah, it's an honor
this
to have you here
takes-
because like you never know where you're gonna take your business either. So to have what, this is your first podcast you're on,
mhm.
you know.
It is. That's why I was excited. But it was an honor to be here, and it's amazing, you know, this foundation that you guys built.
Appreciate it.
Honestly, like, just keep at it. You know, it's gonna pay off to anybody. Just keep going, be consistent, whatever you're doing, and it's gonna pay off. I promise. As long as you believe in it and you know that it's going to work, keep at it. You know, stay consistent, stay motivated, whatever it is. I mean, it could be anything. You know, that's the way we have to think. That's
Yep.
the mindset.
Well, thank you for being here. We appreciate
Thank
you
you,
being
Janet.
Thank you for
here.
your advice.
Yeah.
Thank you
Everything.
for just
Thanks,
blessing us with your
guys.
presence. It was dope.
Blessings,
Have
love,
a
and
good
light
one.
to you all.
Thank you to everybody
sure.
watching.
Peace
Definitely.
out, y'all.
Yeah.
Have a good one.
Peace.